It's going to be the community newspapers like the Lewiston Tribune who engage the community, understand the community, and are a reflection of it, who succeed. And we'll probably see some of a breakdown in the chain ownership and the big corporate ownership.
Now, your studies at Idaho and then maybe later at Oregon tend to move you toward magazine writing or longer piece writing.
Right.
Right now we have a number of classes like that also that are enjoyed by journalists, public relations, and so on. How much harder will they have to work to find the right career, the most pleasurable career that they can right now? They're writing too long for news, maybe, but what's your advice to people who want to write thorough?
When you begin a project, think about repurposing the piece for multiple media. I think that the journalist need not be thinking about, especially the longer version journalist, need not be thinking about creating one piece of art and laying it out for the masses, and we can all stand around and look at it. But to basically begin a conversation that starts in print and then moves into an electronic format for interaction with the audience. It's a lot more interactive media audience now than it has ever been.
Do you have any advice for our magazine students? We're definitely alum related, but it'll go viral.
Well, I guess it's it's the same thing. Magazine writing and the kind of writing that goes into magazines is never there's always gonna be room for it. It's the open lens, it's the sensing. Whereas reporting might just be a visual, kind of a linear message delivery experience. Magazine writing, of course, admits the inherent subjectivity of a person. And it looks for that person to deliver point of view, to taste it, to smell it, to sense it, to draw out your own emotions as a writer. Those are the that's what distinguishes quality literary journalism from newspaper or reporting, both of which have their place. So, I think always have an open lens, a broad lens. Take it in from a lot of different angles. Look at it from a lot of different perspectives. Always, try to think in terms of what do I sense in this milieu for my article. What do I see? What do I smell? What does this remind me of? How does it feel? Those are the kinds of things that make a magazine story different. And I think that's really important to know.
Do you think our alums today and our young journalists or young graduates can make money magazine writing? Is it a career you'd recommend?
Well, I do. I think so. Can they make money at it? Money, yeah. You can make a living at it. It's hard work, and you got to be willing. You got to be. You can if you distinguish yourself, you get work, regular work. Ken Olson is a good example. He's distinguished himself in the magazine industry, and so he gets regular work. And I'm an editor who sees a lot of unsolicited manuscripts and often has story ideas, and I need to go to somebody I can count on. And so when Ken writes a story about almost once a month in the magazine, sometimes a feature, sometimes a package, but he averages about 12 stories a year in our magazine, because I know that I can call him and I can count on him to go, and I can also tell you this: if they really want to be, and this has been around forever, but if you really want to be a successful, paid freelance journalist, find your subject and hone in on it.
When you were in college, what was the goal of most of our journalism graduates?
I think a lot of what the School of Journalism and School of Communications really focused on was on-the-job training. They offered a lot of internships with newspapers in Moscow, Pullman. It was called the Idahonian back then, and the Lewiston Tribune. I had an internship with the Lewiston Tribune, so I drove down to Lewiston a couple days a week. So they really focused on obviously getting good grades, but actually also being involved in the community and getting on-the-job training through internships and part-time jobs, and that's what I was able to do. And consequently, I think it makes you more marketable in the job market once you actually have an opportunity to work while you're in school. Then once you get your degree, it makes you that much more attractive to potential employers.
What have the different stages of your life been professionally?
I worked at the Tribune in Lewiston right out of college, and worked there in a couple of different capacities for 12 or 13 years. And then I switched over into the public relations mode, and a lot of the classes that I took at the University of Idaho, although I was majoring in journalism, focused on public relations and communications in general. So I've been in the public relations relations, I guess you could say the public relations area of work since then, and my current employer is Avista Utilities in Lewiston.
Now, tell me a little bit about that you see the difference between, or is there a difference between journalism and public relations?
Well, I think the public relations, at least in the public relations roles I had, a lot of it was working with the media to try to get your company in the paper, try to get them published in a positive light, and working with the media. So having the experience of working at a newspaper for almost 15 years, I felt really comfortable and confident going into public relations jobs, because one of the requirements is to work with the media. So when I went in for my job interviews, I could say, well, I've been on the other side. I've worked for the media, so I know what the media wants out of a public relations specialist. And so I put a lot of what I did with media and a lot of my training at the University of Idaho into working at all of my jobs, and it's really helped me be really kind of on both sides.
So that comparison with someone whose position you're taking, no matter what, we're very close to lots and lots of people in the world. Our networking is important for journalists and PR?
Yeah, I mean, obviously college is important, getting good grades is important, doing well, caring is important, but once you get out into the workplace, no matter what job you're in, whether it's journalism, public relations, whatever it might be, making connections in the community, having good communication skills, having good connections with people throughout different industries really helps you. I mean, I'm getting ready to go to work for a utility company, and my college degree is in journalism, so you would never really, you wouldn't think about that. But a lot of the skills you learn at the University of Idaho in journalism and in communications and in public relations really prepare you for a career in just about any industry, and I'm really living proof of that.